Welcome to episode 4 of the Double Play Tag Team Show. Really excited for this one because it's going to be our Super Bowl recap.
Yep. Eagles took down the Chiefs 40-22.
How about that? So, remember last week when we were doing our preview show, I said the Eagles are capable of blowing them out, but I didn't think it would happen. It was only going to happen if the Chiefs absolutely did not show up, and boy, did they not show up. 40-22 really was 40-6 before the backups came in.
Yeah, that was just like, even everybody else is saying it was like 40-6. And even then we weren't even like playing our hearts out and stuff in the 40-0.
So,
or no, 37 I think.
So now we've got 2 Super Bowls over the last 7 years for the Eagles, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You don't know how spoiled you are being 10 years old and being around for 2 Super Bowls, even though I know you can't really remember the first one much.
Yeah.
But that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So what kind of points you got there about the game?
So we got Jalen Hurts having a great game. Everybody's saying that Patrick Mahomes might have outplayed him, which...
Who's saying that?
Because if you look at the stat line, Mahomes has the same amount of touchdowns and only one more interception. But Hurts killed him because the 2 touchdowns were in, like, dead time in final 5 minutes.
That was junk stats.
Yeah, he basically has 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in like 150 yards.
The Eagles' backup secondary was in when they got those 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any debate on whether or not Hurts outplayed Mahomes. This is 2 Super Bowls now where Hurts has outplayed Mahomes. So credit to Hurts. He's a big-time player. He shows up when it counts, right?
The Eagles had more points than the Chiefs had yards in the first half.
I know. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. Even the Cooper DeJean pick 6.
I wasn't that nervous going into the game because I knew,
Like I said, the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl doesn't worry me as much for the Bills-Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't nervous going into the game at all. I wasn't, I knew how good the Eagles are, so they were definitely going to be in it. The way it ended up going was just awesome. Eagles fly, baby. Go Birds.
And Saquon versus the Chiefs defense, how he helped the offense. I think he was one of the bigger parts of the offense. Even though he didn't have a great game, he still, because they were loading the box, and that's how we got all those throws in and all those deep throws. You know what I mean?
I think it speaks to the kind of season that he had when you say that 96 or 97 yards total rushing and averaging over 4 yards a carry. When you say that's not a great game, like that's a solid game, for an NFL running back.
But for Saquon's standards, everybody's like he had a bad game and stuff because he's always putting up like 100
right
yards.
Compared to the rest of the postseason, right? So, but where he helped is he kept the defense honest, right? Mm-hmm. They at some points they had nine guys down there by the line of scrimmage to stop the run.
And we had 2, and that's what happened on that Brown deep ball too. They had like 9 people in the box and it was man coverage.
So I get it. You want to stop Saquon? Great. If your plan to stop him means putting A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith one-on-one with your... good luck.
Yeah, the Eagles' offense is just... They can be stopped because, say we're dumb enough to run it all the time even though we're putting men in the box. But that Super Bowl, we were not dumb enough to... We were just throwing it up. And here's my next talking point. The Jahan Dotson and Dallas Goedert. What did I say? They don't have depth. Jahan Dotson with that catch in the first quarter and Goddard with those big catches.
Yeah, he had a lot of good first down conversions, Goddard. And I think that big catch by Dotson that was originally rolled a touchdown and overturned, I think that really, on that first scoring drive, that really set the tone for the offense for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That was a big play. Then, tush push it in, and it was on the way to Broad Street with the Lombardi from there.
Yeah. So, and then Chiefs struggles against the pressure. Our defense was just pressuring them all the time. Even Josh Sweat said, I don't think he should have got it, but he said he should have got Super Bowl MVP because he had 2 sacks.
I think you could have given the MVP to Hurts or any one of those guys on the defensive line, and
even Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, or Cooper, and I don't think anybody would have argued it.
Yeah.
You know,
because everybody played a good all-around game.
Yep, it takes everyone, and it was a great thing to see. So what do you think was your favorite part of the Super Bowl?
Either the Cooper DeJean pick six or like the Lombardi Trophy ceremony.
Yeah, it's always cool to see that.
Yeah.
That pick six was
Yeah.
wild.
Even that Smith catch bomb to seal it and for
The dagger.
Yeah.
Everyone's calling it the dagger.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. It was just so much fun. I think, and obviously we're Eagles fans, but I think a lot of people had fun watching that Super Bowl because a lot of people did not want to see the three-peat happen.
I saw this one video before the Super Bowl of this one show, like this old show of this guy putting a ball into a clown. I think you know what it's called. And the guy trying to direct him, and the guy who trying to give him the instructions were the Bills, and the clown mouth was the Chiefs, and then the Eagles were putting the ball. And then he missed all of them, and then he went up and punched the clown, and that was the 40-22 score that popped up.
Oh, jeez, that's funny.
Yeah.
So we had the game, obviously, and the parade. What was your favorite part of the parade?
It was funny to see Howie Roseman get pumped in the head with a beer can.
So we have Howie Roseman and Cooper DeJean both get cut open during the parade. DeJean with his own necklace, his Bud Light charm on his necklace, or pennant, whatever you want to call it, and then Howie blindsided by a beer can. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
He's lucky it went the way it did. That was awesome.
Yeah, I saw that this one clip of Saquon getting a new chain. It's like $100,000, and then Hurts wearing his chain to all the interviews, and it's like $200,000 combined, and it's
crazy. So the nice thing about your team being in the Super Bowl and winning it, is we're less than a month from free agency already.
Yeah. And then the draft's in 3 months.
New season's already started. As far as I'm concerned, the new season starts when free agency starts.
I saw this one clip, this mock draft. I was just looking at all these mock drafts, and it was this one website. It showed the Eagles trading up with the Panthers for the 5th pick and getting Abdul Carter.
Oh gosh, don't give me any ideas.
Even Abdul Carter was wearing an Eagle. Was at the parade.
He's a huge Eagles fan. Yeah. What by chance that mock draft, did it say what the deal was that it mocked up for the Eagles to move that high?
I'm not sure, but it was the first round 32nd pick, and then I think it was a 3rd round pick and a player. I don't know.
I hope I wouldn't want to see them get rid of any players.
Yeah.
But obviously we're going to sound like homers because we like Penn State too. But just imagine adding Abdul Carter to that defense, or Tyler Warren to that offense.
I know. Imagine having Dallas Goedert, Tyler Warren in the same tight end room, and then around them you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts, and our offensive line.
Yeah, it's really just a pipe dream. I think that this draft class is really deep on edge rushers.
Yeah.
And we still don't know if Brandon Graham's coming back for another year or not, but we got some free agents at that position. So I think that they could sit where they're at 32 and still get a really good pass rusher.
Yeah.
To replenish that.
I saw this one thing of them getting Shamora Stewart out of Texas A&M. He looks really good.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of defensive talent in the front 7 in this draft, I think.
Yeah.
So and then Mekhi Becton, he's a free agent. Who knows if he resigns? So they could be going O-line depth too. Who knows?
Yeah. Or it's interesting at our tackle position, or no, I think it was guard. We have Mekhi Becton and then Tyler Steen. They both got playing time this season, but.
So real quick, I'm thinking about this while we're talking about the Super Bowl, and I know eventually we're going to get off of the Super Bowl, and you want to talk a little bit about where things are at leading to the WWE Elimination Chamber. But while we're still on the subject of the NFL, if you had to do a preseason power ranking of the top 5 going into the next season, what would you say? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious what you would say.
Does it have to be in order, or could I just put my top 5?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So
yeah,
definitely Eagles are going to be in the top 5 power ranking. Mm-hmm. Chiefs are going to end up getting in there. Lions because of all the injuries. I have I saw this at the MVP odds for next season. I know this goes off subject, but Jaden Daniels is 5th, and then first is Lamar, and then it's Josh Allen, and then it's Joe Burrow, and then I think it's Jared Goff, and then Jaden Daniels.
For the MVP?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So probably Eagles, Chiefs, Lions. I think the Niners are going to be in the top 10, but not the top 5 because they had injuries too, but they still could have done better. But I might actually say Commanders in the top 5, and then Bills.
Okay, cool.
Or Bengals are in my top 5. I like the Bengals.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially if Burrow has a year like he had this past season. Right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. What do you got next on your list of talking points there?
Well, it's still on NFL topic. We have 2 more topics. Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, the GOAT debate. I want to see your opinion.
Well, I think now, a lot of what makes Brady the GOAT is the 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And
I saw this one clip of the attitude of Brady down 28-3 in the Super Bowl, and Mahomes down 27-0 in the Super Bowl, and it's way different.
What was different about him?
Mahomes was just sitting there almost crying, and Brady was trying to pump his team up at halftime and stuff.
Good.
And he was, yeah.
That's the right way to respond to adversity, right?
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time with your sports, right? When things don't go great early on in the game, you got to keep your head in it. It's not over yet. That's awesome. I think it's
Brady and so far.
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, Mahomes might have even slipped behind Joe Montana.
Yeah, I saw that debate. Yeah, because two Super Bowls that bad. I mean, did Brady ever have that bad Super Bowls? Do you remember?
No, that's the thing. Brady has never, even though he's lost Super Bowls,
he's never lost one.
He's never
get blown out.
He's never gotten blown out, and he's never gotten where he just got completely destroyed. Now, they had that game where they went 19-0, or were trying to go 19-0, and they lost to the Giants. I think the final score in that was 17-14. So it's not like they put up a ton of points, but it was a close game.
Yeah.
And it's not like he cost them the game or anything like that. That was two good defenses, and both of the offenses made plays when they could. The Giants just made more plays.
Yeah.
It's just, Brady's never gotten to the big stage and lost that bad.
Yeah.
And now you think, even though Mahomes won the first Super Bowl against the Eagles,
and
he still had a good game, Hurts did outplay him in that game too. And then you look at the other one they lost to Tampa Bay, and
that was basically
they got destroyed.
And he has had elite defenses too. Has Brady ever had? I don't think he's had
So you're more familiar with their because they had a stretch of 9 years where they didn't go to any Super Bowls, right?
The Chiefs,
the Patriots. I mean,
oh yeah.
They won their 3 early on in Brady's career. They won 3 Super Bowls. Then they had 9 years where they never made it past the AFC Championship.
That's probably because their defense.
Well, and then they made a couple. They won a couple Super Bowls towards the end. But what I was getting at, you asked about the defense. Early on, the Patriots had a very good defense in those early Super Bowls. So you have Brady along with that defense.
And so does Mahomes have elite defense too?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, more often than not, the Chiefs have a pretty solid defense.
Yeah. Unless you play offenses like the Eagles' offense this year, but yeah.
Yep.
So and breaking news, the Aaron Rodgers got released by the Jets.
Yeah, that's new, right? So total rebuild going on there for the Jets.
Yeah.
Where do you think Rodgers ends up?
I saw this one rumor of him going to the Steelers.
I was going to say the same thing. We're going to have to see what our...
mentor Justin Fields for 1 year and get rid of Russ.
Yeah, we'll see what our PA friends think about that like the Steelers.
And I saw this one rumor of them trading away a bunch of stuff for Trevor Lawrence, but that was that one rumor I saw. But the Jags came out and said it's not going to happen.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I mean, Steelers are an option. What about the Giants?
Giants?
He doesn't have to leave New York.
But it's either they're going to draft a quarterback this year. Their top 3 is Titans, Browns, and Giants. They all need a quarterback, but Titans probably have faith in Will Levis. They're probably going to go to Travis Hunter. And then you have the Browns go in either one, and then I think Shedeur Sanders, you could just tell by the practicing that he's I don't like him better, but you could tell, like, Cam Ward is more zipped to the ball, but his feet are all over the place. But Shedeur Sanders' feet are, like, all, like, good, but, like, his throws are sometimes, they don't get off, like, fast like Cam Ward's. So it's a 50-50 with the quarterbacks.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We got only a couple weeks left until people start signing deals. I don't know if Rodgers is going to sign right away with a team or not.
Yeah.
Who knows? I think
you got to remember he's turning 41.
That might be a situation where teams might not make a move on him until the draft is over. Who knows?
So, do you want to move on to WWE? Do you have anything else on the NFL?
Nope, I'm ready when you are.
All right. So, we have new Elimination Chamber qualifiers. So now it's Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Naomi qualified on Friday.
Okay.
And then in the men's, it's Damian Priest, CM Punk, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. Damian Priest qualified in the main event on Friday.
Everyone's a former world champion except for Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just weird seeing all those good WWE wrestlers and then you just see Logan Paul.
What are you trying to say, Ethan?
So who do you think's going to win the Elimination Chamber? I know there's still one more, but...
So here's what happened, right? So on SmackDown, Charlotte Flair selected Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, so
right?
whoever
we know
wins
whoever
is going after
Rhea Ripley, right? So...
And we know in the men's, too, because Jay picked Gunther.
Yeah. So maybe Liv Morgan, and they run it back in their feud, and do Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania?
A Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley would be a really good matchup.
But do you think they would not? I mean, they would have to drop the women's tag titles before WrestleMania, because I don't think they're going to not have a women's tag match at WrestleMania. Yeah. But I don't know. We still don't know. It could be another person yet that qualifies, right? There's one more opening.
Yeah, I forget who's in the match, but
maybe Becky Lynch. They do a rematch.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for the men's, I think it's going to be John Cena.
John Cena, yeah. That's my pick, too. Or CM Punk. It's going to be John Cena or CM Punk.
I'd love to see it be CM Punk.
Yeah.
But I think it'll end up being Cena.
Why do I feel like they're going to make Logan Paul, give him the push, and make him qualify? That would
so
just...
they'll do like him versus Cody or something?
That would just make me...
it would have to be Cody because Jay picked Gunther.
That would just make me mad.
Would that make you... I get the feeling you don't like Logan Paul very much.
Yeah.
Is it true?
It's because he goes through all this stuff, and Prime sucks.
Oh, it sucks now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like...
You weren't saying that last baseball season when we were buying 30 Primes a week.
But there's only like one good flavor, and that's like lemonade, because it only tastes like lemonade.
Okay.
But, like the rest just tastes
all right,
weird.
So breaking news here in this household, Prime sucks now. Did not know that.
Yeah, Gatorade.
All right, we're back on the Gatorade. Works for me.
So, Jey Uso picked Gunther, so who? I know it's way too early, but who do you think's going to win that match?
I don't know. Gunther's beaten Jay 3 times now in title matches over the last year.
It would be the second straight time Gunther lost in WrestleMania, losing a title.
So maybe that becomes a thing?
Yeah.
That, like, Gunther can't win the big one?
Yeah.
He chokes in the big one? Maybe?
Yeah.
But then you have the same story going in, where Jay can't win the big one.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Because he had tribal combat, and then he had, like, 2 heavyweight opportunities.
So we'll see. I don't know. I think it's too early to tell who might win that, but we'd love to see Jey Uso get his moment.
Yeah.
Do that.
So who do you think is going to win the Charlotte Flair-Tiffany Stratton match? Too early.
I think Tiffany keeps it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know yet, but... And I just want to mention this. We're not going to talk about it a lot, but MLB spring training is going to come up soon.
Well, it's starting. Pitchers and catchers already report it. People are hitting.
Yep.
So
what's your record predictions for the Phillies? I know it's 162 games.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Like, you don't have to do the exact number, but maybe
I'm not expecting a 90-win season.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
I'm expecting maybe a wild card 80, 70-win season because the Mets got Juan Soto. They have Pete Alonso.
The Mets got better. The Braves
Lindor.
got better. Uncle Jeremy and I were chatting a little bit the other day. I agree with him. The Phillies haven't done much of anything.
Except that, Jesus Sanchez.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus Luzardo you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Sanchez.
It's the one.
Where did that come from?
It's the one Marlin pitcher.
Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's the guy that came from the Marlins. I know they traded for him in December. I mean, he when he's healthy, he's solid. So, I mean, he could.
We did get
be good out of the bullpen, which is what they need. Because if they're going to do anything this year, they're going to have to rely on their starting five, their rotation, living up to their potential and not choking games away.
Yeah.
Did you see Mike Trout move to DH?
Oh yeah.
Maybe he'll come to Philly next year. I know that's a year away.
But he's like 35. I don't know why we would bother.
That's true. But it'd be cool to have. He should have been a Philly 10 years ago.
And we got rid of Hoffman too. He was a all-star reliever pitcher.
Yeah. So I know you want to plan the next episode of a lot more in-depth stuff on the Phillies. I'd be disappointed if they didn't win 75 games this year.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I mean, I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be that surprised.
No, yeah, I could see it going the other way, but I would be disappointed if they didn't win at least 75.
Yeah.
Because even though they didn't do much to get better, they still have a solid team, right? As long as everyone lives up to their potential, and we don't have, it seems like there was no consistency last season. You would have, two guys in a slump, and it would screw everything up.
And then everybody would get good,
yeah,
and then
those guys would come out of their slumps, and then somebody else would go into a slump. There was never like a
Alec Bohm was doing good the first half of the season, and everybody else was doing decent, and then Alec Bohm went in a slump, and then Bryce Harper decided to get in a slump.
There was never a consistent time during the season where you had most of the lineup.
But that happens.
It does, and it's normal. But there was never there was no consistency in the offensive production throughout the year.
Because we would have those games where Taijuan Walker was pitching. I felt like we would always lose because of Taijuan Walker.
People had it in their head. They expected to lose those games, but. Who knows? We'll see how things go. There's still time for moves to be made or something like that. So we'll see what happens. But I think wild card is a reasonable expectation.
Yeah. Back to WWE. I saw that they showed the clip on SmackDown of Jade Cargill getting attacked, and it showed Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez running away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Nick Aldis said he'll talk to Adam Pearce about it and stuff.
Unless it's a swerve.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's Naomi.
Maybe.
She was standing
She's the
there.
one that benefited the most from it.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that might be what happens. It's always fun this time of the year, right? So when is Elimination Chamber? Probably coming up soon, right?
In Toronto. I think it's coming up pretty soon. Either late this month or March.
Yeah.
Definitely, because they need a month to get ready for WrestleMania.
Yeah, so WrestleMania season is in full gear, getting ready to go, and we'll see what happens. Going to be fun to see what kind of card they put together for the show.
We have Raw tonight to see who qualifies for the rest of the Elimination Chamber, I think.
CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the last spot. Or not CM Punk, I'm sorry,
Seth Rollins. Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on today's show?
Not really.
All right, cool. We're going to wrap it up with E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!